So today's thought of the day, I would say it's very, very powerful. And I'm sure even during when Sejal was taking us for this experience, many of you would have, you know, it would have related to you, right? So let's just continue with that emotion. For example, just imagine your best friend hasn't called you in 3 months. You know something's off. You've drafted 20 messages, but deleted them all. Each one sounded defensive, casual, or fake. Hey, long time. Everything's okay. Miss you, yaar. But what you really want to say is, I feel like I've lost you. And I don't even know what I did wrong. It hurts. You never send it. Too vulnerable, too exposed, too weak. Or think about your relationship with your parents. There's this invisible wall. You talk about dinner, exams, weather, but never about the argument from 3 years ago that nobody addressed. Never about how certain words still sting. Never about how much you actually need them to understand you. And the distance grows. The silence becomes permanent, and everyone pretends everything's fine. So today we are talking about that one thing that can break through walls nobody else can see. Yes, relationship repair through vulnerability. And here's something that will change how you see relationships forever. Vulnerability is the bridge between misunderstanding and healing. So let me be clear about what vulnerability is not. It's not oversharing every emotion with everyone, or it's not being emotionally reckless or manipulative. It's not even the weakness disguised as honesty. Real vulnerability is the courage to show up as your honest, imperfect, hurt, or confused self without guarantee of how you'll be received. Think about that. Without guarantees. And that's the scary part. When you are vulnerable, you're not in control of the outcome. You are saying, here's my truth. Here's where I'm tender. Here's where I was wrong. Here's where I'm hurting. And that's not weakness. Admitting hurt is not weakness. It's courage. Yes. Because here's what we do instead: we defend, we justify, we explain, we argue, we build cases, we collect evidence, we prepare speeches in our mind. And while we are busy being right, the relationship quietly dies. So, honest vulnerability rebuilds trust faster than long explanations, always. And let me show you this through moments you have definitely lived. The parent teen standoff. You are 17, your mom said something hurtful during an argument last week. You're just like your father, irresponsible and careless. It cut deep. But instead of saying, Mom, that really hurt, I felt like you don't see how hard I'm trying. You shut down, you become cold, you respond in monosyllables, you punish her with distance. She notices, but doesn't know why. She thinks you're just being a difficult teenager, and the gap widens. Now imagine the alternative. You say, Mom, when you said I'm responsible like that, I felt like nothing I do is good enough. I know I made a mistake with my exam prep, but that comment made me feel unseen. No accusations, just truth. I felt unseen. And that's vulnerability. That shifts everything because now she understands. So the repair is possible. Okay, let's take another scenario. The best friend drift. That you and your closest friend from school have grown distant after college started. So you feel like she's always busy with her new friends. She feels you judge her new lifestyle. Neither of you say anything. You both post stories hoping the other will notice. You both wait for the other to reach out first. Pride on both sides. The non vulnerable conversation. You have changed. You don't have time for old friends anymore. And what it means? Attack. Defense mode activated. Fight ensues. But if it is a vulnerable conversation, you might say, I miss us. I feel like I'm losing you and it scares me. I don't know if I did something wrong or if we're just growing apart, but I don't want to lose you, what we had without at least trying. No blame, just honesty that I'm scared of losing you. And that's vulnerability. And that opens doors that accusation slams shut. So let me share you a formula that might be game changing. So please pay close attention. The you did language, which is equal to accusation. That you always ignore me. You never care about my feelings. You made me feel small or you ruined everything. Now that triggers defense always because nobody wants to be the villain in someone else's story. But the other way around, if it's a I feel language, that actually equals vulnerability. That I feel ignored when plans change without telling me. Or I feel unimportant when my messages go unanswered for days. Or I feel small when my idea was dismissed in the meeting. Or I feel sad about how things are between us. See the difference? One points fingers, the other opens hearts. You did puts the other person on trial. I felt invites them into your experience. And let me share a secret structure for vulnerability repair. Name the feeling. Yes, as a first step, name the feeling. Like, I feel hurt, scared, confused, or disappointed. The feeling can be anything. Then describe the behavior without judgment. Like when plans change last minute. You're not like when you disrespected me. Don't say that. Then share the impact. It made me feel like I'm not a priority. And then invite repair. That can we talk about this? I want to understand. So this is not a manipulation tactic. It's an honest communication. It's saying, here's my experience. I'm not attacking you. I'm trusting you with my truth. And here's what makes relationships repair through vulnerability actually work. Repair requires both courage and compassion. Because courage, to speak your truth, to admit your hurt, to say I was wrong, to risk rejection, to show up imperfectly. It is courage. And compassion, of course, for yourself, you're human. You'll mess up. For the other person, of course, they're humans too. For the relationship, it's worth the discomfort. So without courage, you stay silent and resentful. Without compassion, you speak, but with violence. And with both, you create safety, and safety allows healing. I'll be honest with you. I've ruined relationship by choosing pride over vulnerability. I've lost friendship because I was too afraid to say I miss you or I'm sorry, or I don't understand what happened between us. I've learned the hard way that being right is lonely, being defended is exhausting, being closed off is safe until you realize you're safe and alone. So, the most fulfilling relationships in my life today, they are the ones where I learn to say, I don't know how to fix this, but I want to. I messed up and I'm sorry. And I'm hurt and I need you to know I care about us more than being right. And that's vulnerability. And it's the only thing that has ever genuinely repaired what felt broken. And now here's the truth: vulnerability doesn't guarantee repair. Sometimes you show up vulnerable, but the other person isn't ready. Sometimes they don't meet you there. Sometimes the relationship has run its course. But here's what vulnerability always guarantees: you'll have no regrets. You'll know you tried. You'll know you showed up with integrity. You'll know you chose love over ego. And often, more often than you think, vulnerability is met with vulnerability. Your honesty gives them permission to be honest too. And your courage inspires their courage. Walls come down, masks come off, real connections becomes possible again. Because there's the thing about vulnerability. It's contagious. When one person shows up without armor, other one feels the same to do so. So let me leave you with this thought. The relationships worth keeping are the ones worth risking for. And the risk isn't in staying silent. The risk is in speaking your truth, in being seen, in admitting I'm human and I'm hurting and I care. And here's your practice: uncomfortable but transformative. Think of one relationship that feels distant right now. It could be a parent, sibling, friend, partner, colleague, anyone where there's unspoken tension or unexpressed hurt. And write down one truth you can share that comes from the heart, not the ego. Not an attack, not a justification, just truth. Like, I miss how close we used to be. Or I feel like we're drifting and I don't want that. Or it could be, I'm sorry for my part in what happened between us. Or I want to understand what changed. Practice saying it. Then it feels right. Share it gently today. A message, a call, a conversation. It can be anything. Because remember, vulnerability is the bridge between misunderstanding and healing. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is cross that bridge first without knowing if they'll meet you halfway. But try anyway, risk anyway, love anyway. And that's how relationships heal. That's how hearts connect. And that's how walls become windows. So, with that thought, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you.